afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the very first Waiver Wire Fantasy Baseball show of the 2021 season. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you here today as we take a look at some offensive players, some hitters who you can add off the waiver wire after just 2-3 days of baseball games. Tons of undervalued players there floating around who can help you short-term or long-term. Guys, don't forget, head over to rotoballer.com and check out everything we have there. The main page, the premium package, the expert chats, you name it, rotoballer.com is the place to be. Whether it be baseball, football, basketball, MMA, esports, NASCAR, PGA, you name it, rotoballer.com has you covered for both your season-long or DFS formats. And guys, sign up for that MLB premium package. Use the promotional code ACES. Save yourself a little bit of money and get all the great content there throughout the season. The waiver wire articles, busts to start pitchers, and for you DFS players, that lineup optimizer guaranteed to bring you some cash when you use that. So make sure you take advantage of it. All right, so it's the weekend. We've got about 2-3 games in, depending upon when you watch this video. And you're sitting down and setting some waiver wires. Maybe you have some injuries, some empty roster spots that you need to fill. Now, I always say this, don't go crazy. It's been 2 days, it's been 3 days, okay? Evan Longoria's hit a couple of home runs. He's not on my list. I'm not going crazy over that. But maybe you lost Josh Donaldson. Maybe Jared Walsh, you're a little nervous. He didn't start the first 2 games for the Angels. Albert Pujols did. Whatever it is, you just see some holes. You know, remember, you didn't have the Mets and Nationals all weekend long, so don't panic. You shouldn't even be looking at your standings just yet, to be honest. But that being said, there are players now that draft season has passed that are undervalued and usable players for you now at this point. And I'm going to break it down into 3 categories, really. I'm going to look at some average guys, some power guys, some stolen base guys on the offensive end. So let's start with guys who could give you a boost in batting average or maybe on base percentage. First up is Donovan Solano of the San Francisco Giants. Second base, shortstop, third base eligible. Guys, full disclosure, I use Yahoo as my sounding point here. So if I talk about position eligibility and roster percentage, that is my foundation, I guess, is the Yahoo format. So if somebody's owned in your league, totally understand. Okay, so Donovan Solano, probably the only time I'll get to mention him because his percentage of rostership has gone up. He's sitting already at about 40% on Yahoo. But I've got him in almost every format because of the second base, shortstop, third base eligibility. Makes him middle and corner infield eligible as well. And this is a guy who's hit a combined 328 over the last 2 seasons. 330 in 2019 and 326 last season. On base percentage both years over 360. Not a lot of power, 7 combined home runs. Not a lot of RBIs, doesn't really give you any speed, strikes out about 20% of the time. So he's a category filler. He is a batting average or on-base percentage filler, but he is useful. And understand, when I consider this now, I've transitioned personally from the week-long to the daily lineup settings, especially as COVID situations could develop over the course of the year. You want the flexibility to take players in and out on a game-by-game basis. Solano is a nice piece in that format because he covers you in 5 lineup spots. Second, short, third, corner, middle. Those players are going to be invaluable. Okay, and that batting average, 330, 326, he's going to help in that category. You'll find him in your lineup more often than you realize. He's hitting third this year so far in the very, very early season for the San Francisco Giants. So RBI opportunities, run score opportunities will present themselves for Donovan Solano. Okay, but that being said, and let me digress for a minute, daily has to be, I'm not saying DFS, I'm saying daily lineup decisions have to be the focus this year in your fantasy baseball. You saw it. If you set your lineups, nothing from any Mets or any Washington Nationals this whole weekend. So it might not be too late. Have a conversation with your league mates, and you may want to shift the focus to that daily lineup setting, or at the very least, the midweek swap, where maybe you break a week into 2. You go Sunday to Wednesday, and then or Monday to Thursday, and then Friday to Sunday. Break it up that way, like a lot of leagues do, so that if a series gets canceled, a you don't go a week without stats for a player. Now, I mentioned Solano for batting average. My other player for some batting average boost, Texas Rangers outfielder David Dahl. Still only 27, 28 years old. Really, last season was an injury-filled washout for him. But in 2019 for the Rockies, he hit .302 with a .353 on-base percentage. 15 homers, 61 RBIs, struck out about 27% of the time. Combined 2018 and 2019, he had 31 home runs in just over 170 games with a .290 batting average. It was a little bit of a surprise that Colorado let him go this winter, designated him for assignment, let him walk away. Texas jumped at the opportunity, and they have him batting second in their lineup. Dahl has proven to be a 300 hitter with 15 to 20 home run pop. Now, the question with Dahl is always, does he stay on the field? Does he stay healthy? It was always his issue with Colorado. And he's sitting there at 14% rostered. So he's widely available in almost every format. And again, in a day you set in your lineup every day, he's a guy who could give you a 290 plus batting average with more pop than Solano. So it depends on what you need there. If you're looking for a category-filled average with a little bit of pop and you have a hole in the outfield position, then it's David Dahl. But if you like the multi-position flexibility that a Solano provides, he's available. Not as available, remember, only 40% rostered on Yahoo. Now, if you're looking for power and you're willing to sacrifice the batting average and deal with the high K rate, we could stay in Texas with Nate Lowe, their first baseman who's been hitting fifth for them in the early going of the season. 12% rostered on Yahoo. In 2019, he had 263 with 7 home runs in limited plate appearances. Last season, he had 224 with 4 home runs. So already got 4 RBIs on opening day. He came out strong. This is a guy coming through the Tampa system who showed 20-plus home run potential, who's now being given the opportunity to play every day in Texas. Guzman is going to DH. Nate Lowe is being given every opportunity to be the first baseman. Now, there's downsides to Nate Lowe. Struck out 30% of the time in 2019. Struck out 37% of the time in 2020. But he's got raw power. It's a plus skill for Nate Lowe. Potential 20 to 25 home runs for him. Batting average, if you get 250, be thrilled. And he's going to strike out a ton. But, full disclosure, I added him in one league where I lost Luke Voit. First base was thin. It was really came down to trying to get Lowe or Brandon Belt. I've done the Brandon Belt dance. I wanted the upside. Maybe it was a little curiosity on what I could get from Nate Lowe. I lost a ton of power. That's what I was trying to replace when I lost Luke Voit. Is the reason I added Nate Lowe. Another power add is Tyler O'Neill of the St. Louis Cardinals. He did 455 plate appearances over 3 major league seasons. Tyler O'Neill has 22 home runs. He's never gotten a full slate of home runs. Now, with Harrison Bader out, O'Neill, Dylan Carlson have the opportunity to play every day. He's already gone ding-dong once this season, has O'Neill. Only 10% rostered on Yahoo right now. In 2019, he did hit 262, 5 home runs, even though he was striking out 35% of the time. Last season, it was a dismal season. 173 batting average, 7 home runs, even though his strikeout rate was down to 27%. But he's hitting 5th right now for St. Louis. If he can minimize the strikeouts, the raw power is there. And again, with Harrison Bader out, the ability to gain at-bats right now and cement a role as the season goes on is potentially there for Tyler O'Neill. Again, 10% rostered, widely available if you're chasing power. As you look at your roster after draft day, Tyler O'Neill is available. Finally, let's take a look at some speed. 2 players who stand out for me. Manny Margot of the Tampa Bay Rays, 18% rostered. This is a guy in 2019 who hit 12 home runs and stole 20 bases. Last season, in that shortened season, stole 12 bases and hit 269. Doesn't strike out, less than 20% for his career. Hit 7th for Tampa. Now, Tampa had a tough weekend because it was they were playing in a National League park, so no DH. So he sat one game and then he played the next, and he actually hit a home run on Friday in the second game of the season against the Marlins for the Tampa Bay Rays. But Manny Margot, a terrific ad, 4 speed, 4th, 5th outfielder, give you some stolen bases 18% rostered. Staying with the speed, Robbie Grossman of the Detroit Tigers, formerly of the Oakland A's. He's hitting first for Detroit, so you love that opportunity to steal bases and score runs. Only 3% rostered. Stole a base on opening day. Has 17 combined stolen bases over the last 2 seasons for the Oakland Athletics. He's not going to steal you 40. He's not Alberto Mondesi, okay? But he's a double-digit steal guy. 10 to 15 stolen bases for the Detroit Tigers potentially this year, with the ability to hit close to 10 home runs. Batting average has sat at 240 the last 2 seasons, okay, in a part-time role for the Oakland A's. Gives you 10 homers, 15 steals. He's a double-double guy. Double-double guys always find value in fantasy baseball. Strikes out less than 20% of the time, willing to draw a walk, so he fits that leadoff batter profile. Okay, 334, 344 last 2 seasons on base percentage. Double-double potential, only 3% rostered. And the final player I'm going to mention today, and he's only right now worth it if you can change your lineup every day, but that's Alex Dickerson of the San Francisco Giants. And here's the problem. He sat first 2 games of the season. He's a lefty. He does not play against lefties. They face lefties first 2 games against the Seattle Mariners. But he mashes right-handed pitching. So if you have him in a daily format, he's fantastic. When the Giants play him, you play him. In 2019, he had 276 with 10 home runs. Struck out only 22% of the time. Again, in that part-time role. Last season, 220, hit 298, 6 homers, 27 RBIs. But keep in mind, he hit a pinch hit home run on opening day. Okay, he will hit righties. He will hit them well. He's a good hitter. Giants just won't play him against the lefty. So it's a situation where if you're adding him, you put a dollar bid in. But if the Giants are facing 4 lefties in the week, you can't put Alex Dickerson in your lineup because he's not going to start those days. But you see him facing 6 righties in the week, Dickerson is going to be out there each and every day that week. So that's the situation there. And that's why I'm now leaning towards those daily formats. As more teams go to platoon, teams and players deal with COVID issues, you're just going to have to be able to make sudden changes to your lineup midweek. So please, go daily or go midweek swaps if you're in a weekly league. Go Monday to Thursday, and then a swap on Thursday night or Friday morning for the weekend series as well. All right, everybody. Stay right here on the RotoBaller YouTube channel. Check out the waiver wire pitcher list that I'll be presenting and all the great content courtesy of RotoBaller's YouTube channel. And don't forget, head over to rotoballer.com and check out all the great content there. Sign up for that MLB premium package using the promotional code ACES. Download the RotoBaller app. Get that on your phone. All sorts of great material there for you as you're setting your lineups on the go as well. Follow me on Twitter at Aniano of Fantasy. Stay smart, stay safe. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.